So part of what we saw take place in this economy, in this sort of like, hey, can we do this digital economy, is that we saw folks succeed and we saw folks fail. And for those of you on this Zoom, I suspect that you opted in. You were like, fine, if this is how I'm going to interact with my audiences, so be it. But there's a lot of folks in your ecosystem that said, no, sorry, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to see if we can go back to the way things were. And I'll have to tell you, we work across categories, probably clients in 20 categories right now. The winners were not category specific winners. The folks that won in the last year are the ones who acknowledged remote selling, remote teaching, remote leading is a new part of the economy. It is now a fundamental ingredient in how our economies will work. We have a lot of international clients. The amount of flying we used to have to do in order to engage the leadership, well, that's changed now. And as long as you can engage in this channel, you can get a lot more done faster. And why I thought this was kind of amazing, kind of interesting and inspiring for you, I hope, is that what came out of this was we kind of abandoned like how long is your resume and focused more on how well do you resonate. Are you connecting? Can I understand you? Do you feel that this is comfortable? Is this working? Are you following through in this channel? And it's important to realize that this took effort. It took effort, but my point is simply this. There wasn't a category that got traumatized. There's a behavior that got traumatized. Folks that were not interested in this adaptation got left behind. And so not only do I not want you to get left behind, I really want to push you to believe that your future is to be agnostic about your front, to not actually care whether or not it happens face-to-face or at a conference or at a trade show. Even though you might like, schmoozing here or there, you have to be just as content for it to happen in this environment or in an offline channel. And my favorite example of this is what Best Buy basically went through over the last year. Best Buy, the large North American retailer for electronics, they always preferred you walk into their big box. That was their business model. That's how they made their money. They made their money with you walking in their box. Well, obviously COVID required new behaviors. And so now their corporate policy is, we do not care how you come to us. We do not care how you want to be served. We love you just as much. I know it sounds kind of, California cheesy, but you get it. The consumer doesn't want you to say, oh, you don't want to do the meeting on Zoom? Okay, fine. Or, oh, it has to be face-to-face. Well, then we're going to have to wait a month. The audience wants you to say, however we want to meet, however I want to meet, I want you to be content with it. And let me show you an example of this. My company, Innovation Protocol, has 25 people in it. And we always really focused on face-to-face time. We would fly employees across country for team meetings and such. And we were shocked to see how quickly our calendars pivoted to like, oh, this digital slot, that digital slot. Oh, Tuesday mornings, Thursday afternoons, Friday mornings, it was with this team. And I think that this doodle, you probably all manifested yourself, where you went from what was driving across town or going to that annual conference, and you adapted your calendar to a place where, wow, virtually every minute of every day can be monetized. You can get a lot more done faster because of this digital channel. I'm not trying to over celebrate it. I'm just trying to help you all realize how present this transformation is. Going to do another audio check. Kathleen, can you give me a thumbs up that we're connected and strong? All right. Thank you, Lee. Always a good listener, Lee. Appreciate you. Cool. So let me give you an example of this. You saw a lot of folks on Zoom over the last year, a lot of them. Some of them cared, some of them didn't care. The ones who didn't care are in the dark. They're not fitting on screen. You're looking up at their nostrils all the time while they're attending the meeting. Look at people moving around right now. You know what I'm talking about. There were folks who said, yeah, I can't hang. It's not my thing. And the folks who said, I don't care. I don't like this. I'm going to participate. And it really, really makes the difference. All of you know this. When someone centers themselves on screen, lifts up their laptop with 2 books, puts a light where it needs to be, you say, wow, this person means business. And that's just one adaptation. Another adaptation comes directly from all the social media channels that are just, either destroying or saving the planet. You can decide. I started drawing this doodle at the onslaught of COVID and I ran out of space. Can you see that I have no more space for social environments? You're probably hearing a lot about Clubhouse and TikTok. The only thing I want to point out is what this did to the business environment. You know that when you see something on social media like Facebook, or LinkedIn, you click like on it, right? You kind of add an endorsement, you make a comment, you add value to it. All right, well, that was not an enterprise behavior. Businesses did not do that before. Employees did not make comments about other employees' files in the old day. In the new day, it's astounding. We'll have a company meeting and the chat on the side is as active and as important as whatever the actual meeting is. And people post a file saying, hey, the project got done today, John. And what are people doing? Clicking like, thumbs up, heart, great job. Michael, you did such a good job. It's unbelievable. These new behaviors are not going to go away. And let me give you an extreme example of this. If you've ever employed a millennial, you know that millennials started saying, hey, can we have an employee review every quarter? And some of us are like, you know, I was lucky to get an employee review once a year, friend. Millennials asked for quarterly. You know what Gen Z is asking for, right? Weekly feedback. Weekly feedback. And you know what? You can judge them for it, but they're probably right. They'll probably get better faster with that prevalence of feedback. Well, that's exactly what these enterprise social tools have done. Microsoft Teams, Slack, Zoom. There's constant feedback happening. Let me give you an example. You have a reaction button where you can throw a thumbs up right on the screen. Everyone can see it. I can see it. No interruption. Well, if I'm an employee doing a really important presentation and you want to acknowledge me while it's happening, boom, you got the power to do it. These are new expectations. These are going to be the way in which we expect you to behave and act. And so all I'm trying to emphasize today is if you're in for the next evolution of business over the next 3 years, what you do right now is going to have an exponential impact post-COVID. Remember, we're going to have a hybrid era for a little while. Not all the nations are vaccinating as fast as America is. Not all states are vaccinating as fast as America is. Certain states are. So my point is simply this. I'm asking you to take this as an opportunity. The things that you do to adapt and comply now will have exponential return once life is somewhat normal.